what's up everybody?
Welcome back to the channel and greetings from Lhasa, Tibet. Looks like we have another very beautiful day here.
Yeah, today, well, over the next 2 days, we're going to bring you some of the highlights here in Lhasa, including one that we're really looking forward to, which is the Potala Palace.
Yeah, we're just waiting for our tour group to come pick us up now, but looking forward to this day.
Yeah,
Hope
let's
you
get
all
on
too.
out.
We're inside the courtyard of Jokhang temple now. And in here we are allowed to take photos and videos, but not when we get inside. So I'll share a little bit of information while we're out here first. So Jokhang temple is considered the most sacred temple here in Tibet. And it is where a lot of Tibetan Buddhists make their pilgrimage. It also was built back in the 7th century, and one of the reasons why it is so famous and considered so sacred is because it houses a statue of Sakyamuni Buddha, the historical Buddha of when he was 12 years old, and it was also blessed by him when he was alive. And while we were listening to Xizang, our guide, he was telling us about why the Tibetan Buddhists here do the prostrations outside that we got to see just before we came into this courtyard here.
Some of people who came from the village, some are from the nomadic region, some are from the other 4 provinces and mainland. So might be people we saw outside. Some of them once in a lifetime come here for prayer. Some of them once 2 years or 3 years come to Lhasa and pray. So that's why once they got into the holy city, they do it longer than local people.
What did you think of that experience?
Man, that is such a blessing to be able to see what we've just seen, eh, bud?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we were asking Tenzin because it was super crowded in there, is this as busy as it gets? And he was like, no. In fact, during busy times, when you're even standing still, the waves of people will push you in the general direction of where you need to go.
Yeah, it's a one-way only walk, and we were inside the main hall.
Yeah, and we've now made our way over to level 2 where we are allowed to take photos and videos again. But I'll try and recollect our experience of when we were in the main hall. So the whole area is incredibly ornate and decorated with a lot of golden Buddhas all around, and there are also monks praying and chanting as well. There are also tons of people trying to get their blessings, but of course the main special highlight of the area is of course the statue of Buddha when he was 12 years old. That's also been blessed by Buddha himself, and that was just so surreal and amazing to see, eh, bud?
Yeah, it wasn't that big and it was golden, but yes, very, very quick glance that we got to see of it.
Yeah, so really awesome highlight, but of course we've still got the Potala Palace and Jokhang Street as well to go to.
Oh yeah, another amazing thing inside there was the mandala, which was just meticulous and so intricate in its design.
Yeah.
Really incredible. We have about 40 minutes of free time now to wander around Bakor Street. And we're doing a deeply rooted Tibetan tradition or ritual known as kora. In English, it's circumambulation, and that is to walk in a clockwise direction around sacred sites such as temples or monasteries and even stupas. So we're making our way around the outer perimeter of Jokhang temple that we were just at before. We're in line for Potala Palace now, and I don't think we're going to be able to take photos or videos while we're inside either, so I'll share some information with you now. It dates all the way back to the 7th century when it was first commissioned by the Tibetan king Songtsen Gampo as a gesture of love for his marriage to Princess Wincham of the Tang dynasty. But due to warfare mostly, it was destroyed. However, during the 17th century, it was rebuilt and expanded by the 5th Dalai Lama. It stands at a whopping 3,700 meters above sea level, which is incredibly impressive, and hopefully we don't get too much altitude sickness today either. Looks like the line is moving much quicker now. Better hurry.
Wow guys, look at this palace. Is it not just the most majestic thing you've seen? Luckily there's still quite a lot of outdoor areas, so we're still able to take photos and videos around here. But we were driving around the town and you can catch little glimpses of it, but it's not until you're standing right here at the foot of the palace that you're like, wow, mind-blowingly beautiful. It is indeed the highest altitude palace in the world, and we're gonna go all the way up to the top. But this palace, what you can see of it right now is what was rebuilt in the 17th century. But come on, I'm very excited. I'm geared up for the big crowds now. Got a little audio thing with an earpiece so we can hear Tenzing. But he shared with us some really interesting construction facts about the palace. So the palace is actually made of stone, clay, as well as wood. And you can see the cross section here as well. And what's interesting is there's no cement used at all at this place. And you see how some of this wall is white? Well, that's because every single year the walls are whitewashed with a solution that consists of mainly chalk, but they also add milk, water, as well as honey. And the honey was really interesting because that's to get a little bit of stickiness to go on the walls. He's also saying that there's some famous TikTokers who joke that if you lick the walls that it tastes like milk and honey. That's a lie.
Do not lick the walls.
Taste like milk and honey. I'm not even gonna try it, but I can tell you now, it ain't gonna taste like that.
No licking walls.
Potala Palace is 13 stories high, and you really feel it as you're coming up here. You get out of breath, or I say we, but it was really just me, and I had to stop off at various seating areas around just to catch my breath again because it is very high altitude. This is in fact the last spot before we head on inside, and you're not allowed photos or videos there. But if you guys are wondering why I haven't given any prices today, that's because we've covered all the prices in our first Tibet vlog, and as a foreigner you do have to join a tour group to visit Tibet, and so we covered everything in that one if you do want to check it out. But yeah, we're going to head on inside and tell you guys about it once we're out again.
We finished our sightseeing tour of the palace now, and it's actually divided into two sections, the Red Palace and the White Palace. We went into the White Palace first, and that's where we got to see the living quarters of previous Dalai Lamas, and then we went into the Red Palace where we saw thousands of statues as well as mandalas and very sacred tomb stupas as well. There are a lot of very steep steps as you're walking through, so you have to be careful. And there's also apparently 2 channels to go through the whole complex with. There's also a time limit of 45 minutes for tour groups to go through, and it's pretty strict. But apparently in winter, there's no time limit because there's hardly any crowds. But yeah, we need to make our way back down now. Finally, it is time for lunch. Well, it's kind of a very late lunch, but very glad that we are here, and we have a Tibetan mixed with Nepalese cuisine. And I was very excited because this place also has tsampa and butter tea, which we have had before when we were staying near Huanglong. But here it looks very, very different. So tsampa, it's a very popular dish, I guess you could call it, that Tibetans like to eat, and it's quite a doughy texture, very chewy. And then we've also got the butter tea, and it's a mixture of butter, tea and salt. Oh, it's very creamy, slightly salty this one. The one we had before was even saltier, but I like that one. Oh yeah, better try the sambal too. So break off a bit. It's very, how do you say, like a very natural flavor. I can't remember what the flour was, barley, that's right. And then it's mixed with some of the butter tea as well to create that texture, but this one is way prettier than the one that we had originally because it's actually shaped into like a flower. Yeah, that's good. I've also got a lentil soup, but I'll let Peter do the main talking.
The thing I was looking forward to was this yak curry because I saw someone eating it yesterday and I was like, man, that looks nice, but I had my noodle already, so let's give this a go. That's very good. I think this yak is growing on me now. It's got a nice layer of fat to it, and I like the curry flavor. It's like very subtle, but you mainly get that yak, which is a little bit gamey, but like I said, it's growing on me. And I got a lot of these potatoes here too, because I've kind of been missing potatoes. This is the first place that I've seen that's even had it. That's good. A little bit spicy. It's going to be a good meal.
everyone. It's our final tour day from Tibet, and we're going to be catching some beautiful scenic sights. But earlier today, we drove about an hour out from Lhasa, and we made a quick stop off at Xiazhulin Temple, or maybe it's a monastery because we saw quite a few monks doing their morning prayers inside the main hall. It's a much smaller temple or monastery and very quiet compared to other ones in Tibet here. But what it's most famous for are two things. Firstly, it houses some relics of Buddha that was gifted from Sri Lanka. And also there's an enshrined body of a girl who passed away when she was 12 years old, but then rescued by a river god. And it's believed that she's the reincarnation of an auspicious goddess, the goddess Green Tara. But yeah, we took a couple more hours drive, I think, through Kampala Pass, which has very high elevations, just under about 5,000 meters, so that we could come here to one of the holy lakes of Tibet, which is Yamdrok Lake, and it is beautiful. Let's show that to you guys now.
The lake is very nice, and you can see some snowy-capped mountains off in the distance, shrouded by the clouds. But this place is kind of crazy, eh? There's so much going on here.
We didn't expect it.
There's like a dude singing on top of a van, and then there's like a whole concert going on. So I don't know. It's very loud here.
Yeah, we thought we were going to come to a peaceful lake, but then it's not quite. Still beautiful though.
Yeah.
多少次跌倒在路上，曾经多少。
A different guide today. His name is Baima, and he's taken us to another scenic spot of Yamdrok Lake, which is much quieter, way less people, and the elevation of this particular lake is 4,441 meters above sea level. It's one of the largest here in Tibet, and on sunnier days the water looks more turquoise. But I was just saying to Peter before, when we were looking out at it as we were driving around, that it could almost pass for parts of New Zealand, which is really nice. About 3 p.m. now, and we have finally made it back to our hotel. It's been another pretty long day for us.
Yeah, this Tibet trip has been a whirlwind one, and even though it has been on the pricier side, I'd say that definitely it's been more like one of those trip of a lifetime kind of things. It's been very unique and special, and it's something that I think we're going to remember forever.
Yeah, definitely. It's just been so eye-opening as well, and we hope you've really enjoyed watching our 2 vlogs here from Tibet. If you haven't seen the first one, please do go check it out. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please do us a favor by giving it a thumbs up, drop us a comment, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We'd really appreciate it, and we hope to see you in our next vlog.
See you, everybody.
Bye.